Hello, and welcome to episode 40 of Missed Mando, Ontario's source for the latest in the disc golf world. I'm your host, Robbie Holden, joined by my friend and co-host, Sean Galbraith. Shawnee G, how you doing, and what have you been up to since our last episode?
Doing
Which, sorry to interrupt you again, the last episode, which I must say you did incredibly well by yourself, my friend. That was a great solo episode.
Thank you very much. Never leave me by myself again, please. That was way too much
will
talking.
thank me too.
Yes, absolutely. Nobody wants to hear me talk that much. I definitely do not. I have had a great couple weeks here. Played the White Spruce Open. Always love that at the home course. Did well. Finished 9th. Shot the best rated round of my career so far, like a 930 in round 2 from the longs. And if I had only not quad bogeyed hole 1 in round 1 from the shorts. So how you quad bogey round or hole 1 at White Spruce? You throw I'm a lefty. So you throw a forehand into the ground like 80 feet in front of you, so that's bad. You leave your upshot short and in the woods, that's for 2. Then you hit the basket and it rolls downhill for 3. From the downhill and uphill putt, you hit the tray and it rolls all the way to hole 7. So you abandon that throw. So that's not great. So now you're throwing 5 off the tray, park it, and then tap in for 7. So should I have only parred that hole, I would have finished in 3rd place. So that wasn't great, but man, had a blast. Played with some really great guys. Really enjoyed the event as always. Spencer always puts on a great show. And man, I mean, super happy with how I played in round 2, and it gave me some more ideas on how to make the Missed Mando mayhem coming up on August 3rd even stupider. So we will have more details about that on our next show, I am sure. And then last weekend, I played the Summer Stomp at Niagara-on-the-Lake, a fundraiser for queer disc golf, put on with the St. Catharines Women's Disc Golf Club, and it was super fun. And oh my God, it was hot. It was
Yes.
It was so hot. Mistakes were made. Most of the being outside variety. But it was a great time, had a blast. And then on Sunday, went out to Cedar Creek to play that course for the first time as a preview for the Lake Ontario Open, which for some reason I've decided to play in Pro 50. Why not? Seems like a bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway.
YOLO or whatever
bad choices is my motto. So it's been a great. The course is absolutely fantastic. I have no doubt it's going to climb the ranks of the listener survey this year because man, it's really great, and I just think not enough people have played it to see how fun it is. What about you? What have you been up to?
Well, obviously I missed the last episode. Thank you for running things solo. Like I mentioned, I have been going through a move for like a month and a half. Is ridiculous. It's supposed to move last month, and then it turned to moving at the start of July, and then I didn't have internet for a while because for some reason this apartment doesn't have a coax cable plug-in and only Ethernet, and my internet that I was using in my old apartment needed coax, so then I needed Rogers to come in. It was a whole nightmare, but thank you for covering, Shawnee G. Yeah, as everybody can see, I've got some new digs behind me now. This is a new background for me here on the show. And I'm also, for anybody watching on YouTube right now, can notice that I am wearing this weird light little blanket cover thing over my shoulders because I currently cannot wear a t-shirt. I may have gotten the worst sunburn of my entire life last weekend. We are now recording on Tuesday, and this burn occurred on Saturday, and I still cannot wear a t-shirt without being in incredible pain. So that's fun. Wear your sunscreen, kids. Definitely do not make the same mistake as me. But I also played in the White Spruce Open. Amazing fun. Shout out Spencer. We don't need to talk about how I played. No highlights were made whatsoever during my round. And even though it was recapped by quote unquote me, aka my face amazingly edited onto Sean Galbraith's body in the last episode, I also shot my career highest rated round recently. Sean mentioned it in the last show, but at the Waterworks Open in St. Thomas, I shot I think it was 1028 rated at the time. Now that we are past ratings day and it has gone official, it got bumped to a 1031. My first ever round above 1030 and clears my previous highest rated round by 30 points. I had only ever shot 1,000 once, and it was 1,001 and shot 1031 this time around. So I was pretty stoked about that. I'm also really stoked as, you know, in this week that we are recording this, I am getting ready to this weekend go up to Sudbury, Ontario for the Blueberry Brawl, which is always just a reminder to me that I am the most roller coaster disc golfer in the history of all time, because 3 years ago I had rounds in the 700s, 800s, 900s, and thousands in a single 4-round tournament. 773 and 1,003 back to back. They changed to like 775 and 1,001 when they went official, but still, they're crazy. So, anyways, I'm excited. I love going up to the Blueberry Brawl. Where else do you get a tournament where the entire tournament starts by everybody taking a shot of blueberries together? Just the best way to kick it off. But we're in full swing here, Shawnee G. Summer tournaments are here. The Pro Tour is over in Europe. We've got some busy local stuff coming up and some stuff that we're going to recap on this episode. We've got a lot to get to in this show. But first, we're going to send it over to our feature interview for this episode. And we are very excited to welcome to the show Kevin McIntosh, president of the Guelph Disc Golf Club and tournament director for the annual Guelph Royale and this year's Ontario Provincial Championships. Very excited to have Kevin on the show, and we will be right back here on Missed Mando. Our next guest joined the PDGA in 2012 and has had a solid playing career, reaching a career high 965 rated in 2021, and is currently sitting only one off of that 964 rated. Maybe 2025 is the year we see a new career high for this player. He's made an even bigger impact off the course, though, TDing multiple tournaments, including the upcoming Guelph Royale, formerly the Diameter Open, which is in its third year running. He's also the president of the Guelph Disc Golf Club, which has seen immense growth in the last 5 years, runs multiple league nights and charity events, and was awarded as the host club for the 2025 Ontario Provincial Championships. With all that said, though, most importantly to me, he's the wizard behind the spreadsheet used for our 2024 course vote, which would have been an absolute nightmare without his help. It is a pleasure to welcome to Missed Mando from Guelph, Ontario, Kevin McIntosh. K-Mac, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. And before we get into everything that you're currently doing, let's take things back to the start of your disc golf journey. I mentioned in the intro, you joined the PDGA back in 2012. Was that after you discovered the sport, or had you known about it already for a while? Sort of who or what originally got you into the sport?
Yeah, I think my origin story is pretty similar to most people. A friend got me into disc golf, and it was back in 2011. He just said, "Hey, my sister moved, and there's a disc golf course in her backyard. This is up in Sudbury, and it's the first time I ever heard of it, but like it's always seemed like an intriguing idea. So I'm like, all right, let's go check it out. And then one round down, and I'm hooked. How it always goes, right? And then, a year later, I joined PDJ, started playing events, started playing leagues, taking it more seriously, actually practicing, because back then I was only a part-time worker, so I could practice during the day whenever I wanted. A little harder to do that nowadays, but yeah, that's kind of my origin. So I started playing in Sudbury, where Dean Alick, he was the one who put in the course in Sudbury. He was the one who ran the leagues. He ran Blueberry Brawl, the Ice Bowl, everything up there. So that's where I got started, and then I started playing in the Chicopee area. R.I.P. Chicopee. Maybe we'll come back one day. We'll see. And then I moved to Guelph, and the rest is history, I guess.
Well, the Sudbury course is quite the daunting start to playing disc golf, I will say. That course can be an absolute grind. So the fact that you stuck through it after that is a testament to how addicting the sport can be right away, no matter where you are. And while I will agree that you do have a common origin story in terms of a friend introducing you to the sport, with the exception of maybe Ryan Bevilacqua, who we've had on recently, I think 2012 has got to be one of the earliest starts for anyone we've had on. We get there's so many, COVID era players.
Yeah.
It's nice to see someone. Yeah. Exactly. It's nice to see someone that's been around for a while.
Yeah. Just, I got my 10-year PDGA, I guess it was 2022. So yeah, over a decade now.
Nice.
Yeah.
When did you first get involved with the Guelph Disc Golf Club, and how long have you been the head honcho over there?
So I would say, like, when I first moved to Guelph in 2015, and just there was a small group of us, Pat and Jeff Scanlon and Luke Coombs. Luke Coombs, he had a friend who had parents who owned a piece of property, Evergreen Ranch, and they let us put in an 18-hole course there. However, we had this beautiful 18-hole. Well, okay, it was going to be beautiful. It was just finished, and we loved it. We were like really excited about it, and then they decided to move. So that was like 2017, 2018, I can't remember. And then Riverside, the first 9 holes, was installed by the city, spearheaded by, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, Ian Ferguson, within the city. So the first 9 holes went in there, and it was just somewhere else to play besides the Arboretum. Because the Arboretum, as lovely as it is now, back when I started moved to Guelph, it was a little rougher on the edges, a lot harder to find the T-pads. There was no U-disc as well back then, so it was a lot harder to navigate without U-disc. And so once Riverside was installed, some of us said, let's just start a league and see where this goes. So just a group of us, and then we just bumped into people on the course. We're like, hey, we're going to try this league on this day. Do you want to come out? And then shortly after that, we realized, we could, build something and build upon this, have a league, run events, kind of like small events like ace races and things like that. And that was in 2019, a group of, I think, like 10 or 12 of us just got together in someone's kitchen. I think it was Luke Coombs. He just got together in his dining room, and we just said, okay, we're going to formalize the Guelph Disc Golf Club. It had already been run, like, kind of somewhat informally by Trevor McHugh. I don't want to take credit for creating the Guelph Disc Golf Club. But it was literally just him, and he was running some, like, MVP space races and things like that. And I think he ran a league as well at the Arboretum. But back in 2019, when we all got together, we kind of formalized the structure. I was voted in as president with those few people who were there. And then we had vice president, secretary, treasurer, like, okay, this is going to take this seriously and see where this takes us. We started running leagues, at Riverside. We put in another proposal to the city of Guelph for an 18-hole course, because Riverside, there was not space for that. So I had to find another piece of land, and thankfully Eastview Park was an option. So that turned out really, really well. For those who know, it's been through quite a few iterations from its first installation. Like, they had the first 9 holes, and it was like a work in progress, but now, like, you see it now compared to where it was, it's come so far, and that's a testament to the design of Ian Ferguson. He was, he had an idea of what he was going for, but he was always willing to take feedback in this form of, seeing what works and what doesn't. And he was able to tweak things, within the confines and the bounds and the barriers that come with, working within a municipal government. So he did absolutely everything that he could. And today we have this amazing free-to-play 18-hole course that offers pretty much everything. Wind, elevation, woods, open golf, OB, water, you name it, left to right, right to left, winding paths. It's got it all. And then Guelph Disc Golf Club. Okay, it's kind of got me rambling now. I can't remember what the question was.
So how have you seen things change and evolve with the club during your time? Obviously, the course, you've now got this amazing Eastview course, and you also have Riverside and a partnership sort of with Dick Valley. And the club seems to be extremely active. You've got lots of leagues and events going on. So, tell us about some of that.
Sure. Yeah, I actually bringing up Vic Park, that kind of prompted a memory. I think it was back in 2021. We had reached out to the community at the time and asked, hey, if anybody knows of any leads on, somebody with land that we could put an 18-hole course, whether it's just a temporary course or something like that. And Peter Doe, he plays out of Milton. He lives in Milton, but he played in Guelph a lot back then. And he said, hey, I've got a friend, and his dad or his uncle, I can't remember, owns Victoria Park Valley Golf. So he got his connection. A couple of us went out to meet with him and kind of cart around Victoria Park Valley. And we put in a temporary 18-hole layout for the 2021 Guelph Disc Golf Championships. Wait, is that what they call it? The Guelph City Championships, that's what it was. Because in 2020, we just did it like Riverside and Arboretum. That's all we had at the time. So we did, 2 courses, 50 people, because we were capped at 25 people gathering at that point outdoors. So we had to do like 25 people at each course and then switch places. And in 2021, we were able to host city champs on this beautiful golf course, 18 holes. It was like the first 18-hole layout that we could really play in Guelph in 2021. And then that following summer, they started putting in a permanent 18-hole course. So things like that. And just having Victoria Park Valley and Eastview, as they've come along, has been huge in allowing the club and others to host events in the city and draw people in. So Guelph disc golf tourism is something that we're really focused on growing. And going back to kind of like the impetus of the starting point of the Guelph Disc Golf Club, we kind of had like this loose idea of, just growing disc golf in Guelph. And then eventually, once I think it was a few years later, we came up with like a full, proper, club mission statement. And it was to, I'm on the spot, grow disc golf in Guelph through engagement, accessibility, and inclusivity. So that was always our like fallback. It's like anytime we had to make a decision as a club or as a board, we said, okay, does it meet this mission? Yes, let's go for it. No, okay, maybe it's not the right time for this or something like that. It was like a huge, like kind of like almost like a weight off of our decision-making shoulders when we came up with that mission statement. Like if something doesn't serve that mission, then, maybe this isn't the right time to do it. But if it does, then we go for it. So many things came through that. So growing different types of leagues. So a lot of cities, I'm sure it's growing now, but like when I started, there was just one league a week. There was one course and it was one skill level more or less. But in Guelph, we're so fortunate that we have Eastview, which is a little more challenging. We got Vic Park, which is a really long open. We have Riverside, which is free and short and beginner friendly. And then Arboretum is just a whole other challenge on its own. So we have all these options, which allows us to host different leagues at different courses on different days to cater to so many different types of players. So we have the Riverside beginner friendly. We always direct people to try out Riverside when people want to try out disc golf because it's easy to catch the bug at Riverside. Whereas like, you mentioned earlier when I started playing in Sudbury, and it's not a very long course, but damn, it is a tight and technical course. It can be daunting for a beginner, right? But Riverside is much more friendly, much easier to get into it, and you can work your way up to Eastview or Arboretum kind of thing. So just having these courses available has really enabled us to, you know, follow through on our mission statement with leagues and events and things like that. Yeah.
I will say that that kind of thinking is 100% effective as an example being me, because when I really started getting into disc golf, really like hardcore, playing leagues every single week, playing tournaments like crazy, it was playing Riverside League every single week that like really hooked me on things. And it was always, you know, like, oh, when am I going to finally ace this hole? When am I finally going to ace hole 4 from shorts? It's just sitting right there in front of me. I still have never aced hole 4 or any hole at Riverside for that matter. But it truly got me hooked. Okay, I'm not alone. Thank goodness. Thank you for saying that, K-Mac. But it 100% works because it got me hooked on it, and then eventually, you know, I started to challenge myself more. And Eastview has, well, especially now with what it's turned into, is an incredible disc golf course that challenges all sorts of skill levels. Just the overall variety in Guelph is absolutely incredible. But we've also seen, you know, like little pop-up 3-hole courses in parks pop up and different things like that. So what are some other like current initiatives or projects that the club is working on for the rest of 2025, or even maybe something that you're planning for 2026?
Well, I'll say right now, my focus as the president is on Guelph Royale coming up, and then Provincials. I mean, I don't have a lot of bandwidth, to be perfectly frank. Outside of that, making sure that we have, you know, enough sponsors for Provincials, we have all the courses set up, and then we have the people in place to get courses set up and volunteers, and you know, the logistics around something like that is huge. Like I've run 3 B tiers in my life on multi courses, so I have some experience on multi course events at a certain level. But taking things to an A tier on 3 different courses is just a whole other thing. But I am very fortunate to have a huge support team. Like I think we have like 5 assistant TDs or 6 assistant TDs for this event. So I'm very blessed that we have a lot of people here ready to step up. But beyond that, I can't say we have any other huge initiatives in the pipeline other than, you know, if Provincials goes well, we're, you know, thinking about hosting nationals within a couple of years. If it goes well, if there's not a huge catastrophe or it's not a huge disaster, that's it's on the horizon as a goal for us to host, you know, bring people from across Canada to the Guelph area. And we're really hoping that Chicopee will be back by then, because that would be a true gem. We'll see. But yeah, like other than that, you know, it's just trying to get more disc golf in the area. I mean, there's so many different things that I will say, like, just on like an ongoing thing that the club does is outreach, that I don't know if many other clubs do this, where there'll be certain community festivals, community events in the area, like the Multicultural Festival here in Guelph, Party in the Park, which is kind of just a big, huge like summer festival celebration thing in Hermosa and Rockwood. And we just set up a tent, we put out a basket or two, bring some putters, and we just expose people to disc golf. And, you know, get discs in their hands. They just kind of walk by, because a lot of people are there with their family, their kids. It's really fun to just hear the ching of the chains. You know, all disc golfers know how addictive the ching of the chains is. So if you can just get them hooked, like that, it's something like that is really, really, really simple. So other initiatives that, you know, are constantly ongoing. Devi, Ryan Bevilacqua, he's taken huge strides in the junior side of the game. He kind of started that in Guelph. I think, you know, he collaborated with Nico and Carl on Nico's Drive. I think Guelph was one of the first Nico's Drive Tour stops, and then he kind of took that on to his role in the ODSA and developed the junior tour, the ODSA junior tour. So a lot of things like that, and just making sure that, you know, disc golf is accessible to all abilities, big, small, young, old, things like that.
So let's talk about Guelph Royale. That is the first of the 2 remaining marquee tournaments that Guelph Disc Golf Club is going to be hosting this year. Give us a rundown of it. What courses? We doing shotguns versus tee times? What are we looking at? Player packs? Any off-course activities? Things like that. What can
I think I see a
players?
Krokhol board from last year's tournament hanging right over top of your head right now, if I'm not
That is
mistaken.
a stick Tracy boards, Krokhol board. So what can our listener expect to happen at this year's Amazing Royale?
Well, not to disappoint, but it is going to be a much smaller event this year because we're saving resources for Provincials. Because like last year was a B tier, this year's only a C tier. So it's a lot smaller fields. Like this field size is half the size. But a very similar format to the Royale last year, where we have 2 rounds at Eastview, shotgun rounds at Eastview in one day. And then we'll be at tee times at Victoria Park Valley the next day. So 3 rounds in total. But we're not planning anything outside of that extra. Not too much to add to it, unfortunately. The players pack's pretty basic. Just making sure I make the guidelines for the net value. There'll be a disc, I think, a pin. So it's more or less just a good chance for local players to qualify for provincials, because it is a provincials qualifier. So it's the best opportunity for locals to qualify. Because our club members, they got 24 hours early registration as a club member. So it's like I said, great opportunity for them, but it's not nothing too crazy. We'll add some things here and there, like making sure that the flags and all the tee pads and everything are in place. We'll have the elevated basket on hole 9 at Eastview. It's a classic. We worked with the folks at Victoria Park Valley to install a lot more tee pads. So for those who at Victoria Park Valley know, there's a lot of natural tee pads, like we were playing off of their golf decks. So any tee pad, if you played there, any tee pad that used to be on their golf tee decks are now turf tee pads, proper disc golf turf tee pads off of their tee decks, like nearby. But so the design's shifted slightly. There's only a few holes that changed quite a bit. But we have a lot more just dedicated disc golf turf tee pads. And then the remaining of the ones that, will get turf eventually. Maybe that'll happen before provincials, we'll see, or it'll happen next year. But that was a huge change. And there's actually a few holes that got a bit of a redesign, which I'm looking forward to playing this week. But that's a pretty big upgrade for Victoria Park Valley that players have something to look forward to.
At Vic Valley, what about those first few holes in the woods? Any changes there? Because I know from when it was the Diameter Open to Royale, those was the first 5 holes or so. Those have evolved and changed. So
absolutely, yeah. So
definitely natural, shall we say, tee pads. Teeing areas, shall we say? Any changes to the layout on those holes?
So between 2023's Diameter Open and 2024's Guelph Royale, there's used to be 5 holes in there that went down to 4 holes, and they got completely redesigned. So anyone who played the Guelph Royale last year, it's pretty similar. But we did shorten up I'm planning to shorten up the red tee. I still need to confirm that with the guys there before the Royale, but definitely for provincials. To shorten the red tee on hole 1. Because it, just from a logistics standpoint and creating course flow, that was a big backup on hole 1. And I mean, as a TD, I think I would rather have a backup on hole 1, let the rest of the course flow pretty naturally rather than have a backup in the middle of the course. But if we have a choice between no backups and backups, I'd rather have no backups, obviously. So, shortening up the red tee for hole 1, that's, hopefully we're going to try and do something there. But other than that, it's all the same, and they all have turf tee pads. So no natural tee pads in the woods.
So hole number 3 can continue to absolutely whoop my butt every single time that I play that dang hole. It's all right. I look forward to the challenge. I say bring it on, hole 3 every time. And hopefully I'm sitting on top of 2 birdies from hole 1 and hole 2 because I'm going to need that cushion by the time I get to hole 3. That is for sure.
It is a blue level course, and I don't want to talk down to anybody, but that's just the nature of the design was that it was supposed to be a blue level course, which is above the skill level of the majority of disc golfers in Ontario. But it is a unique challenge for those who require that challenge. Those who are 930, let's say, and above. So all of our gold level players who are like 1,000 rated, this is a much more of a challenge for them. It's designed to be a challenge for 950 and above kind of thing. So if you're 900 rated, yeah, the Victoria Park Valley is gonna give you a run for your money.
Yeah, it can beat you up, and it's for me, it's like the perfect level in against my skill level, where I think my personal best is like a -5 or a -6, but I've also shot like a +15 out there, and definitely have blown up. But it's one of those ones where like just finishing under par really feels good, and that's a testament of a great course. I definitely think it's a course that I love to play, and I can't wait to finally get out for some practice rounds coming up here, leading up to the Guelph Royale. But all right, if there's not much else that you can add to the Guelph Royale, let's move on to Provincials then, coming up a little bit later this year. When did you and the club start thinking about putting in a bid for Provincials, and when did you officially know that that Guelph was chosen as the host club for this year's tournament?
I would say it was probably a goal of our clubs for quite a while, but we knew we needed at least 2 18-hole courses in the city to even consider hosting. But in the time from when we thought we only needed 2 courses to these days, we realized that you kind of need 3 courses. So like last few provincials, I've had at least 3 courses. Where like when I started playing, it would be like 1 course or 2 courses for provincials. But then it started to become, the demand has grown, especially with COVID, that pandemic boom. Kind of for all the people who are able to qualify and want to play, you kind of need 3 courses. So once we got the 2 permanent 18-hole courses at Victoria Park Valley and at Eastview, then it's just a matter of figuring out whether we can do like a temporary 18-hole layout somewhere, like on another golf course, or also at Victoria Park Valley on one of their other golf nines, or finding a 3rd course. So, thankfully, with the Kelso Conservation Area, they installed a disc golf course at Kelso Conservation Area in Milton, which is only about 20-25 minute drive depending on where you're going from within Guelph. So it's fairly close by, and so with Kelso, Vic Park, and Eastview, we said okay, we can put in a bid for this, and so that bid I think went in. I want to say like last summer, I think was the bid for that. It's a pretty drawn out process. Not too bad, but we had to fill out a form, provide a lot of information about why we think Guelph is an ideal location for provincials, things like that. Some conversations back and forth with the ODSA board, and then they selected us to host the 2025 provincials just before last year's provincials. They actually announced that Guelph is going to be hosting at last year's provincials in Huntsville. So, yeah. Anything else you want to know about it?
Oh, we want to know everything about it. I'm like, so is Provincials going to be the biggest disc golf event that has happened in Guelph? Yes. How many players are you expecting?
Aiming for 256 max capacity.
Wow.
Because that would be kind of like, with the daylight that we have at the end of October, I wanted to do 300. If I'm being honest, I I thought we could do that, but then I looked at how much daylight there is in October. I'm like, oh wait, can't get that many people through all these courses. So I had to pare it down a bit to 256. And last year's provincials, I think I had like 213 or 216. I can't remember. But I'm hoping that with a more Southern Ontario central-ish city, host city, we can get up to that amount. I haven't looked at the recent registration numbers, but we're only halfway through the season, or just about halfway through the season, and we've had plenty of registrations already from those who have qualified. So I'm pretty confident that we'll get to at least very close to that number, if not over it. So we're going to have several different layouts. I'm going to group everybody by their PDJ rating, because everyone who plays in the A tier has to be PDJ rated, so they have more or less they should have a rating, because they probably would have qualified at least one PDJ event. So I'm not grouping them by their rating, but I'm going to try and assign which layout on which course they're going to play based off of the average rating within that division. So if the average rating for MA2 is, I don't know, 875, let's say, then they're going to play a course that's designed for someone who is an 875 level player. They're not going to play the Victoria Park Valley Blues, for example. As much as they might enjoy the challenge, I'm not going to make everyone do that and make everyone wait for them to get through that grueling course. So we have a lot of different options. The Kelso, there's talks about putting in a kind of like a shorter temporary layout using a lot of the same holes. I think we're talking about using like 14 of the holes, but then avoiding the really long, difficult ones on the back black 9 and incorporating a few temp holes in the shorter 9. So that's something we're currently debating. So using the regular layout as kind of like a white level player, so a 900 rated level player can play the regular 18-hole layout there. And then with Eastview, we're going to have the red layout that's already there, the white layout's already there. We're testing out a blue layout at the Royale, so a higher caliber player can play a more difficult layout at Eastview. Well, we're going to see how it goes. We're tentatively optimistic about the layout. I've played it a couple times just with the holes that are playable anyway. And a few other players about my skill level played it, and we're pretty confident in it. And we've had purple layout, which is a very beginner friendly. You can only throw like 150, 200 feet max kind of layout at Eastview. So we got like 4 different possible layouts at Eastview. And then Victoria Park Valley, they've got 2 layouts and kind of a mix of a third. So we have a lot of different options to cater to all players in Ontario. So whether you're 600 rated or 1,000 rated, hopefully we'll have a good challenge for you at Provincials this year.
I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait for Provincials this year. I've got 2 follow-ups for you. One is with the 3 courses being involved, will it be something where each division is playing 1 round on each course, or will some divisions maybe not play a course and play 2 rounds at one of the courses instead?
Currently, everyone is playing 1 round a day. It's nice and easy, because I don't know about you guys, but when I go to travel to a tournament, like I can imagine like going to like Nationals and BEI. Sometimes when you're playing like a really tough course like Hillcrest Farms and in PEI, I don't want to play more than 1 round in a day. So I love the 1 round a day, because then you get a chance to go home and shower before the players' party or something like that. Kind of like it lets you be a little more relaxed with your event weekend. So we'll have 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 round each day. And we're kind of rotating people around the different courses to ensure that they get to play at least 2 courses. There'll be a few divisions that might play 3 courses. Most bang for your buck, but everyone will play at least 2 courses.
Perfect. I love that. And the second follow-up that I had, you mentioned a potential blue layout at Eastview, and as a Guelph club member and somebody that absolutely loves Eastview, I am very curious to hear about some of the changes that you might implement on that layout change. We don't have to go through every single change that's made for that layout. I might pick your brain later on Messenger about that. But what are some of the highlight changes that you would say that people could expect from that potential layout?
To be perfectly honest, it's not going to be too much different. from the existing wet layout, but I am a data analyst by trade. So I looked at all of the whole scores by division, by player rating, by color rating, and who played which teas at last year's Royale, and I picked and chosen. I don't know what it is. I went through every hole and said, okay, these holes are too easy for a blue or gold level player. How do we make it harder? So most of the time, they're able to play the white tees. So for example, if you know hole 13 at Eastview, you don't need to make that any harder. It already played like a quarter stroke over par for a gold level player. So it's hard enough as it is. Don't need to change that one. But some of them, I'm trying to think of a good example. Hole 6, for example. That's a really easy. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of room behind that tee. You could just put another temporary tee a little bit further back and it's blue tee. Mm-hmm. So little things like that, little tweaks. But the people who are able to play it, I'm hoping to make the layout live in UDisc shortly, because it's not technically completely playable yet. There's still a few places that need to be cleared out a little bit. But the folks at the city and are already aware of my intentions, and they're working with me to make this a reality for the Guelph Royale. It's not too much to tweak, but hopefully it'll be just an extra challenge for those who are playing the blue tees, or who are playing MA1, MP40, and MPO.
Nice. I love it. I got to know, did you take any course design influence at all from one Mr. Sean Galbraith's design of the Mist Mando Mayhem that was hosted at Eastview? I wouldn't recommend it myself, but I don't know. Maybe you thought some of them were good.
Will there be an air dancer at the edge of a tee pad?
I would love that. That'd be a nice little
get a waiver from the PDGA. Event. Make it happen, K-Mac.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't fortunate enough to play in the event or even play the layout as it was, because I had plans that day. But if you ever do that again, I really, really, really want to play, because I only heard good things other than the rain. So if it ever happens again, then I definitely want to play it, because it sounds like so much fun. But no, nothing too crazy, because people, they get opinionated about the courses they have to play for tournaments. So we try and make it as straightforward and logical, for me, as logical as possible. Because if I can fall back on logic, I can explain almost anything. So if I have data to back up my decisions, which is, that's what I do for a living. So if I have data to back up my decisions, then hopefully I can address anyone's concerns. But that also means nothing crazy and wild.
But we want a little bit of crazy, a little bit of wild. And so let's talk. Are there any great off-course activities planned for Provincials this year that you want to announce and tell us about? We assume there will be another amazing players party. Is it going to be at the brewery again? Are they going to be a sponsor? Is Tracy Boards coming in to do some crazy Krokhol action? What can we expect this year at Provincials?
I can't give too much insight into that.
I assure you, you can.
No, just because I haven't planned it yet.
Oh, okay. Then just make things up randomly.
A rough framework, right? I don't want to promise too much, but we have so many ideas. Sean Graydon on our board, he's kind of like our events chair of the events committee. That's one thing. Just quick aside, like within our board, everyone on our board like chairs a separate committee. So we have like an events committee, a leagues committee, and within a committee, there's people within the community who like volunteers. Just quick side note to how many people are like involved within the Guelph Disc Golf Club. It's not just me and like 3 other people. It's like there's like 10 people on the board, and each of them have a committee of like 3 or 4 people. So it's a huge support network. Anyway, going back to the event, Sean Graydon, he's kind of like our events kind of coordinator. So he will reach out to Royal City Brewery, and yes, we are confirmed to host a kind of player pack pickup / check-in kind of thing. That's going to be a little more casual at the Royal City Brewing on the Friday of the event, so your first day. So this is where you're going to be picking up your players pack and things like that. So you have to worry about it when you check in, because we're going to be all over. We have 3 different courses. I don't want to have to split up players packs over 3 different courses if I don't have to. Right? So they did the same thing last year, Provincials, that just everyone pick up your player's pack at the player's party. It's a lot easier that way. So aside from that, like what we're going to do that night, I don't know yet, because we only just confirmed that we have the place for that Friday, which is great. But I would love to get Jeremy Tracy and the Krokhol crew doing something like that again, like they're doing for nationals. Like I don't know if it'll be as formal as signing up for tournament on disc golf scene for Krokhol, but having some Krokhol boards there and having Jeremy there to show people the great game, the other great disc game of Canada. So hopefully that'll be a good event. And then on top of that, on the Saturday, we're hosting a players banquet at Victoria Park Valley, the clubhouse there. It's only $30 a person.
Fancy. We talking formal wear required?
No. You can dress as formal as you like, Sean. I'll probably be just like in a collared polo. So it'll only be currently only like $30 a person, which for a full meal, that's pretty great, damn good deal.
Great value,
in my opinion. It's like a full catered meal. You have a choice of 3 entrees, and then there's desserts, coffees, snacking foods and finger foods, coffee, tea, all that things. And then we're going to have the raffle prize will be drawn at that point. We'll have door prizes. We're going to have, probably some games at that point as well. Like, someone's hypothesizing or theoretically coming up with the idea of having like, I don't know if anyone was at the PEI Nationals a few years ago, but at their players' party, there was like a tic-tac-toe putting game.
Yes.
It was so much fun.
Yes.
And if I can convince somebody if I can convince somebody in our community to build that, I want our club to own something like that because it's so cool to have at events. Where basically you putt into a certain like lane to like have your putter, you have 2 different colors of putters, and you have to like make a line like tic-tac-toe kind of thing. Or
Connect Four.
Connect Four. That's what it was. It was a Connect Four game, not tic-tac-toe. Sorry. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. I'm hoping we can try and do something like that because that was really cool. But we might have other games like Cornhole and Krokhol and things like that. So, there is a max capacity at the clubhouse. So, it's currently included in the registration form for those who sign up for Provincials. It just prompts you if you want to do it or not. But beyond that, I'm hoping that we can fill spots with volunteers. Some of the volunteers who are helping run the event will be there. Caddies are welcome. So I'm really hoping that the players' banquet be a well-attended and fun event.
Well, I need to get on my registration ASAP because I am officially qualified. Thank goodness. I don't have to worry about qualifying for my home club's provincials anymore for the rest of the year. I was getting stressed about it, K-Mac. It was not good. But I am officially qualified, and good to know that banquet is a part of that because I will be certainly adding that to my registration. That sounds like it will be a great night and just an overall great weekend. I mean, I've been excited about Guelph Provincials since the announcement, so I can't wait. I can't wait for it. But K-Mac, thank you so much, my man, for all of your time tonight. It has been great to have you here on the show. But before we let you go, we would like to hit you with a few lightning round questions that we ask all of our new guests. Just some quick answers, whatever comes to mind first. Sure. Are you all right with that?
Absolutely. Hit me up.
All right. I got a little softball for you here, and we'll see if maybe there's some favoritism that comes in to this question on some local what we've talked about all night. But what's your favorite course?
Are there any restrictions to my answers, or just favorite course period?
None at all. So what's your favorite
course?
Hillcrest
Farms in Bon Shop PEI.
Yeah.
I mean,
number one of the ones I played too.
It's to date the only John Houck design course that I've played, and I can see why he's the number one course designer in the world. There's no contest so far. I've played some other really great courses by other top designers. Like I played a course by Chuck Kennedy in it was Minnesota. I played at the Emeralds in Minnesota in 2014, one of Chuck Kennedy's courses out there. It was amazing, beautiful. It was up there as I probably at least top 10, top 15 for me. But I've yet to play anything better than Hillcrest Farms in PEI. It's just anytime they host an event out there, I'll try my best to fly out there and play it.
It's a special place.
Yeah, and like to get your ass whooped by the gold tees at at Nationals at Hillcrest was a fun experience on its own.
So our next question is, it may be the similar answer. What is the hardest course that you've ever played?
Kaposha.
Is it Hillcrest Golf or is it
no Kaposha disc golf course that I can remember from 2014 Am Worlds in Minnesota. It still sticks in my mind as the most difficult, fair, but most difficult course I've ever played. Because it was long and in the woods. And the rough was rough. Like, they had fair fairways, don't get me wrong. There was always a line to hit. So that's why I love the course. But if you missed, you were punished. So, and there was a couple of blind holes where it's like, I don't know where the basket is. And I'm not a local. I don't know where the basket is. I don't know what the line I'm supposed to throw. So, like, a few of us on our cards, like, in the tournament, we're walking up the fairway to, like, okay, what are we doing here? It's like that outside practices or something like that. But that's the first one that comes to mind as the most difficult course I've ever played. Yeah, it's Kaposha in Minnesota.
I like that. Certainly a unique answer from any of the other answers we've gotten for that question, and one I've never heard of. I'm gonna have to look up that course a bit. But next one I got here for you, K-Mac. One sport to play or watch other than disc golf. What are you choosing?
Football. And when I say football, I mean association football, as in European soccer. That's what I'm watching.
Let's go.
I'm not trying to be like a snob or anything about saying football. It's what comes out my mouth first, because I listen to podcasts and they're all British, so they all say football. So my brain says football. But yeah, soccer. I'm watching.
Who's your club?
Tottenham Hotspurs in London.
Oh,
yeah. So they're not like one of the top dogs, but they're usually pretty good. This past season, they have had a terrible season, but they still won a trophy for the first time in 20 years or something like that. So it was a really weird season. But yeah, I watched the Russian Premier League primarily, but also like the Champions League and other major international tournaments like the World Cup, the Euro Cup. So yeah, that's my other sport outside disc golf that I follow pretty religiously.
What song makes you instantly turn up the volume to max and sing your heart out, or a go-to karaoke song if that is your proclivity?
So revealing something about myself here, because many people probably don't know this, but I have a Bachelor of Music Education, and I was a voice major in university. So I literally sang for 4 years training-wise. And so there's a lot of songs I can belt out. I'm not a performer, though. That's the ironic part, is I hate performing. And yet I was a voice major. But like, when I get the chance to belt out a song from like the Greatest Showman soundtrack, like it's just a musical, if one of those songs come on, I'm usually belting. Or Moulin Rouge, I'm usually belting. Or a song from like Coldplay, I'm usually belting. Nice. Yeah, if I had to pick just one, no, I can't just pick this one.
That's a bunch. Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. Yeah. Is it my go now, Sean? I guess it is my go now. Yeah. As I sit here awkwardly paused, waiting for Sean to talk. Next one I got here for you, K-Mac. What is your favorite place to stop for food on a road trip? You're really hungry and you're imagining those lights up in the distance. What are you dreaming of?
I mean, if I'm hungry, I'm not too picky. I'll just go with the next en route. But if I had the option to choose, it was like, oh, I wish within the next 5 minutes there was this place.
There's a magic genie granting a wish.
Well, there's a couple of things. So there's this roast beef craveable sandwich at Tim Hortons that is just like a go-to when I'm on a road trip or like anywhere I'm hungry. I could eat that roast beef sandwich. But that's like an easily attainable thing. The other thing that many people aren't as a fan of is Arby's. If you ever get a roast beef sandwich at Arby's, that would be my top pick, but they're a lot harder to find.
K-Mac likes his roast beef sandwiches, is what we're finding out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You give me a Reuben or a Montreal smoked meat.
All about that Arby's life.
Arby's, there you go. Yeah. I wonder if I can get Arby's to sponsor an event. That'd be nice. But yeah, like the Arby's, there used to be an Arby's in Guelph, and it closed down because it's not that popular on the food chain, unfortunately. But like the closest one now I think is in Kitchener. It's like anytime I'm in Kitchener and I'm driving down that road on Victoria Road, I'm like, oh, I want to go to Arby's.
So the first thing you think of as soon as you turn onto it.
Exactly. Yeah, I turn Victoria Road. I'm in Kitchener. I'm like, ooh, can I get an Arby's? Am I hungry enough for an Arby's?
I'm just really disappointed they stopped carrying the chicken cordon bleu.
Oh, you're a fan of that, eh?
That was a fan. That was my go-to sandwich at the Arby's. Okay, and sad it's gone. Okay. So, what movie never gets old no matter how many times you watch it?
Return of the Jedi?
Yes, my man.
Ocean's 11.
Oh, so good.
And Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney. That's my top 3.
Oh,
yeah.
That is a well thought out top 3 that you just pulled out on the spot. I am impressed.
I have that top 3 ready to go. It's like a conversation.
Yeah.
Starter.
Okay.
Yeah. If you can only watch it, you got to move the rest of your life. What would you watch? That's my locked and loaded answer.
That's true. The only thing that
Ocean's 11 is probably like my top pick. Like I can watch Ocean's 11 and jive and vibe along with the movie every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I might disagree with is I might choose Empire over Return of the Jedi, but I mean, can you really go wrong? I'm resisting every urge to turn on the lightsaber that is somewhere behind me, but I don't want to find it off camera awkwardly. So K-Mac, I will end off this with one last lightning round question that I've got for you, and it's the most important one of all. Yeah. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Flight.
Nice. Another one that you had just locked and loaded there.
Yeah. I've already given that one a lot of thought when I was a lot younger. I'm like, yeah, there's nothing better. For me, anyway, I just think that should be the really coolest thing. Be able to fly.
I think I would have to agree with you. It would be pretty darn cool to just be able to take off and fly wherever you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't argue. Well, K-Mac, thank you so much once again for joining us here on the show. Before we let you go, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give or any final comments, anything that you would like? The floor is all yours.
Yeah, just really quickly, like I wouldn't be in a position I am without all the people in Guelph who also are as passionate about disc golf as I am. And growing the Guelph Disc Golf Club and in every single way, not just can we make this league bigger, or can we make this course better? It's about getting more courses for more people to be able to play courses. So it's just about growing the numbers from every possible angle. So grassroots. So the Guelph Disc Golf Club board, I'm not going to list them all because again, there's too many. But the Guelph Disc Golf Club board, everyone on every committee, everybody who volunteers to run leagues. There's just so many people who give their time to disc golf in Guelph. And we're truly fortunate. And I'm just the mouthpiece for what's going on here in Guelph with regards to disc golf. There's all these people who are constantly making improvements to the courses without being told to do so. And it's always a good improvement. Just little things like, putting in switchbacks, like spending hours carving switchbacks out of the hill on 14 and 18 at Eastview, which is a huge undertaking and a huge improvement to the course. So that's a big thing. And little things like putting in little rock lines for a drop zone. Of course, it's just so many people are willing and able to give their time to disc golf in Guelph, and I'm truly fortunate to just be riding that wave to see how far we can go.
I couldn't agree more with you, K-Mac. I am a proud member of the Guelph Disc Golf Club, and it's truly incredible what has grown in, like we've talked about, in not really all that long of a time. What the club has turned into is truly incredible to see, and you are a major part of that, my friend, and it was a pleasure to have you here on the show. Thank you once again so much for joining us, and we will be right back here on Missed Mando.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, welcome back to Missed Mando. Thanks once again to K-Mac for coming on and joining the show. Absolute pleasure to have him here. And man, I am just so pumped up that Provincials are in Guelph this year. My home club representing. And like I said in the interview, I'm very, very, very happy that I have that qualification dealt with already. So I don't have to stress about it the rest of the season. Because if I didn't qualify for my home Provincials, that would have been That would have been very disappointing on my part. But we are going to move on now to a little bit of Ontario news and registrations eventually from Shawnee G. But first, a little bit of Ontario news that we've got. Brooklyn Okrafka from Paris, Ontario. Yesterday, I believe yesterday, from the time that we're recording this on Tuesday, she went out and won the long drive competition at Junior Worlds in FJ15. She's, of course, down there for the main Junior Worlds tournament, and beforehand they do the putting long drive and I think a doubles event as well. And in the FJ15 division, she threw 353 feet with a latitude 64 river, soaring past where Sean would have ended up with the same disc, without a doubt. And with that throw of 353 feet, she would have finished second place in FJ18 had she been competing in that division. Only would have lost out to the winner in that division, who I think, if I'm remembering correctly, absolutely smoked the rest of the FJ18 field. I think she won by like 50 feet or something like that. But huge shout out to Brooklyn for that amazing performance, and good luck the rest of the way through the main competition down at Junior Worlds. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you now for some upcoming registrations that we've got here upcoming in Ontario.
Tournament season continues to be fast and furious, but registrations, we are not done with them yet. Open now as of when we're recording this, and definitely still open by the time you're hearing this, the Lucky Lines Open is going down at Eastview in Guelph on October 4th. That is going to be a fun one. On August 9th, White Spruce is playing host to the Vivian Sukwa Memorial. This is a really great tournament put on by Mo of White Spruce to raise money and food for local charities. Definitely you want to play that one. Out in Eastern Ontario, the Flying Ferguson Forest Fall 4A, cannot say that fast, is going down on September 6th, and registration will be open by the time you hear this episode, and it'll probably also be sold out by then.
Highly recommend getting into that one if you can. It is a very fun track. Great tournament team out there as well. So highly recommend, coming from somebody who's played it, and hopefully we'll be playing again this year.
I haven't played a tournament out there. It looks like a great time. I've played the course. It looks like it'd be a blast. And it's, I think, one of the few, by that point in the season, one of the few provincial tour spot qualifiers that are remaining. So if you haven't gotten your spot yet by then, you definitely want to get in on it.
Definitely.
Sandy Hollow will be playing host to the FR Tours Simcoe Open that same weekend, September 6th and 7th. Registration is open for that one. That'll also be another really popular one. Towards the end of September, Wild Country is hosting the Wild Country Midweek Masters on September 24th. So all of the age-protected divisions make the trek up to the super fun Wild Country course. Registration for that one opens on July 23rd. On July 25th, registration opens for the Woodstock Birdie Bash. This is a Prodigy 3-disc challenge, and that is going down on September 27th. But of course, the one that you gotta pre-register for today is, of course, the Miss Mando Mayhem, happening at White Spruce on August 3rd. You can find the event on UDisc and on Disc Golf Scene. Pre-registration is done on UDisc, and you don't have to pay anything now. This just helps us get us a sense of how many players we're going to have. As I mentioned in the intro, I've got some extra diabolical things planned, including the Wheel of Mayhem and some other absolutely stupid and idiotic things that will be lots of fun for you all to suffer through. I mean, have fun playing. So definitely do not want to miss that.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for all of those registrations and especially the Missed Mando Mayhem. I can't wait to be out at White Spruce and see everybody just being tortured by Shawnee G's evil genius course design brain. Moving on to a little more general disc golf news. Shawnee G, I see you added in something here, so I will throw it over to you because this is actually news to me as well. I haven't seen this.
Just a little bit of industry news, a little thing I saw hit the wire. Mint Discs out of Texas has announced a new partnership with Prodigy. Right now, Mint Discs, they're being made by MVP. And like ThoughtSpace found out, MVP, they're kind of busy making all their discs. They don't really have a lot of extra machine time to some of these other companies. It makes it a bit of a challenge for them when they want to actually, be a company and sell discs. So like TSA did with Discraft, they Mint is having a production partnership with Prodigy. So some new molds presumably will be coming out of the Prodigy factory. I think that bodes well. I really like the new Prodigy plastics. I bagged 3 or 4 of their discs, and especially their lightweight air discs. They're great. There's none of that flashing or chalky issues that they used to have, way back when it gave them the reputation that they have that frankly is now probably being earned by Innova for the flashing issues. It's sharp as hell on some of their new discs. But yeah, so I mean, if Mint's coming out with some good stuff on some good Prodigy plastic, then I'm gonna have to see if I don't know if anybody actually carries them in Canada, but I'll definitely have a look out for them. It could be interesting. Good to see that another company is hopefully finding a way to expand in the market and stick around a little longer.
Yeah, I do like to see this, companies branching out and using different manufacturers to manufacture different molds that they have. Just like you said, like ThoughtSpace did with Discraft. Was that earlier this year or was it the end of last year? I can't exactly remember.
Beginning of this year.
I think so as well. Yeah, I do believe that was the case. So yeah, super interesting to see. And whatever their first mold is, I'm interested to get my hands on it and see what it's all about. We are going to move on now to some tournament recap, and starting here locally in Ontario, we are going to start in Brampton, Ontario at the always amazing White Spruce Park for the 2025 White Spruce Open, a staple of the summer tournament calendar here in Ontario. This year, the event saw 224 competitors across 18 divisions and was a stop on the Ontario Tour as a provincial qualifier. In FBO, Colleen McIntosh held a 1-stroke lead over Jessica Goulet and 2 over Kat Johnson after round 1. But after a whirlwind final round, all 3 ladies were tied with 1 hole to play, where Colleen would unfortunately take a bogey to fall into 3rd, while both Kat and Jess secured pars to send things to a playoff. In the playoff, Kat would absolutely park the very first hole to secure the come-from-behind victory, her very first victory this season. Over in MPO, Chris O'Zollins took a 1-stroke lead into the final round after a bogey-free 1044 rated -10, but Brian McDonald was right on his heels after a 1035 rated -9 to stay within 1 stroke with 1 round to play. Although the leaders struggled compared to their scores in round 1, no one else in the field could capitalize on the opportunity, with Cam Zanini coming the closest and finishing in 3rd. Meanwhile, Oz and Brian went back and forth with birdies and bogeys, but in the end, it was Oz shooting -3 to Brian's -2 to take the 2-stroke victory, the 3rd MPO win of his season so far. In the top amateur divisions, Alyssa Saunders held a 2-stroke lead over Taylor Quigley and Lauren Williams after round 1, but Taylor fought back to tie things up with 1 hole to play, where Alyssa would take an unfortunate bogey to give Taylor the 1-stroke win, her fifth win of the season in FA1 so far. In MA1, Kyle DeGost held a one-stroke lead over Corey Hunter going into the final round and was able to keep his foot on the gas, going on to win by 3 strokes over Corey and Sebastian Mrozinski in a tie for second. For Kyle's second straight MA1 win after taking down Foxwood way back in May, taking some time off tournaments, come back, and another win in the column for Kyle DeGost this season. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any thoughts and ace shoutouts that you've got.
So many at White Spruce. Probably maybe the most that we have had at a tournament so far, or certainly pretty close to it, if not the most. So first, Gabriel Dixon in MA3 nailed probably maybe the most aced hole at White Spruce, or got to be pretty close to it, because 3 people aced it during the White Spruce Open. We got Gabriel Dixon at in MA3 nailing hole 4, 155 foot, nice little uphill shot. It was also aced by Brendan Embry in MA40 and Lin Guillen in FA40. We don't have too many women ace runs or ace shoutouts on this show, but this was her first tournament ace, so huge shout out to Lynn. And then Chris Martino over in MA40, he bagged really nice hole 14. That's a sick ace to get. You got the little tunnel there. It's the uphill with the huge rollaway risk on the side to the short basket. Very, very cool ace. Also wanted to give some props to the divisions that had one-stroke wins. The pride of White Spruce, Mo Sukwa. He won MA2 by a stroke, as did Jeff Reed in MA3. MA50 also was a playoff. This was between Paul Sobolski and Mike Sowergel. And again, it was hole 1 that took it down, this time for Mike. Well done there. And then over in FA2, it was also a one-stroke win for Hannah Stewart. Absolutely love the White Spruce Open, as I mentioned in the intro. Such a great event at the home course. And frankly, for some reason, this event really seems to pad my ratings a little bit. So I don't mind that either. Cannot wait for the next event at White Spruce, the Miss Mando Mayhem. But until then, the good old White Spruce winter thaw next winter.
We will be back at White Spruce very soon for the Mayhem. Can't wait. And yeah, I always love the White Spruce Open. Fantastic tournament. Unfortunately, did not go the way that I wanted to this year personally, but still always a great time being out there and seeing everybody. Moving on to the next stop of the 2025 Ontario Tour, which takes us to London, Ontario for the Forest City Open, hosting 143 competitors across 16 divisions looking for a top 3 finish to secure a qualification to Provincials this fall. There were no FPO competitors at this event, but in MPO, it was Ezra Lockington who held a one-stroke lead over Trent Michaud heading into the final round, with Jeremiah Della Foresta another stroke behind in third. That's a really fun name to say, Jeremiah Della Foresta. That's just fun. Shout out Jeremiah. Things got scrambled up in the final round, though, with Jeremiah shooting +5 to fall to 6th and Trent shooting +2 to fall to 4th. Meanwhile, Ezra was at even par and only held a one-stroke lead with 1 hole to play, as Joe Vanderveen was -5 through 17 holes to jump way up the leaderboard. On the final hole, Ezra unfortunately took a bogey, while Joe was able to clutch up and secure the birdie for the 2-stroke swing to steal the win from Ezra and take his first win since August of 2023. Over in MP40, Pete Chapman shot the hot round of the tournament with a 1032 rated -8 to take a 7-stroke lead into the final round, where he would go on to win by 10 strokes with a score that would have won the MPO division by 4 strokes. Amazing job there for Pete. Over in the top amateur divisions, Melissa Van Sluis held a 4-stroke lead over Kyrie McKegg after round 1 and kept her foot on the gas in the final round to win by 7 strokes for the first PDJ win of her career in only 6 events played so far. In MA1, Ryan Graham and Nate Framst were tied for first and 3 strokes clear of third after round 1. In the final round, Nathan Brower shot a 1,008 rated -5 to tie the lead when he finished, but on the lead card, Nate was able to birdie the final hole to take the 1-stroke win, the first MA1 win of his career. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any thoughts, ace shoutouts, or anything you've got.
No aces this time around, and I mean, that course is a tough one to bag some aces on, so I would have been extra impressed if there had been. I want to give credit to our 1-stroke division winners. Over in MA1, we had Mr. Framst. I wrote down Nay, N-A-E, but I don't think that is right. Is it Nate?
It's Nate.
Nate, yeah, that's what I thought.
Nate.
Accidentally.
Somebody wasn't listening to my top amateur division breakdown. Jeez.
God, no, I don't listen to you at all. Are you even on this show? What do you do? Okay, who are you? All right, so Nate, well done, Nate, for a second time on this show. MA50's Mel Matsky? I'm not sure. We'll go with that. He took it down by 1. Over in MA2, there was a playoff between Tyler Nagy and Elliot Norton. And Tyler took it down on the first playoff hole, so well done there. And then in MA3, Bryce Pridham, he also won it by a single stroke. Shout out to the course, or the tournament directors down at the 4-City Open. St. Julian is such a fun course down there to play. And they've got some really fun layouts for tournaments there, some really daunting island holes, and sometimes they bust out the 1,000-foot par 5. So super fun there, and congrats to all the players and winners who had fun down in London.
Yeah, I do believe they busted out the 1,000+ foot par 5 for this event. And when I was looking at specifically the MA1 leaderboard, as that's the division that I most often play, I was looking at the scores, and I don't think there was a single birdie, and there were a lot of dark gray squares on the scorecard for double bogeys, triple bogeys, and some even higher than that. So definitely can be a daunting hole and a daunting course as a whole. That is for sure. All right, let's move on over to our Pro Tour recaps. And the tour is officially in its full European swing, with most, if not all, of the top players in the world making the trip to Europe for 3 DGPT events and 2 majors, starting first with the 2025 PCS Open hosted at the Overås Disc Golf Park in Overås, Norway, which is ranked as UDisc's number 9 course in the world. In FPO, Kristen Latt was in full control of this event, holding a 7-stroke lead over Ida Lehtomäki and Evelina Salonen going into the final round. But a shocking struggle round from Kristen dropped her back into a tie for second, as Evelina would shoot a I messed up the typing here, but I'm going to assume I meant to put 1,006 rated -7 to win by 3 strokes, her 3rd straight win after USW DGC and the European Championship, all of which came over Kristen Latt. Huge streak here for Evelina. In MPO, Adam Hammes goes wire to wire for his 2nd win of the season, leading by 2 strokes after 1 stroke after 2, and ultimately winning by 2 strokes over Mio Hamalainen and Daniel Mio Hamalainen, Daniel Davidson, Kevin Jones, Sullivan Tipton, Lori Lettinen, Jesse Nieminen, and Gannonburr all tying for 3rd place. That's a lot of names all bunched up there. With his 2nd win of the season, Adam joins Gannonburr and Niklas Antila as the only players in MPO this year with multiple wins. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any thoughts, stats, or anything you've got from the PCS Open.
Not really much to add to that great summary there. Such a fun course to watch. Good old Gates of Valhalla. It was nice to see some new names pop up the leaderboard and some ones we haven't really heard from in a while, like Kevin Jones. Nice to see Sullivan Tipton, who's put together a fantastic year so far this year. And then a couple of the Euros, Daniel Davidson and Laurie Lettinen. They're having a great Euro tour. And it'll be interesting to see how they do at Worlds in a couple weekends, and in this weekend's European Disc Golf Festival. It's also kind of surprising how few multi-winners we've had on tour so far this year, with only 3 of them and only just having the 3rd one so far. It's not no one's having a particularly dominant season overall in terms of wins in MPO. Yeah, it was a fun tournament to watch. I didn't really get to watch too much of the FPO because of the time difference, but yeah, a great event on a great course.
Yeah, awesome event. I love watching these events over in Europe. The commentary teams are amazing too, on not only on the live coverage, but also with MDG Media on the post-produced side of things, which is for anybody that, like me, was wondering why I couldn't find any post-round videos in my regular YouTube feed. Yeah, it's because it's not Jomez while it's in Europe. It's MDG Media. So make sure you go subscribe to them so you can watch the post-round coverage, or just watch the Disc Golf Pro Tour highlight video packs that they put together, which are pretty great recaps of the rounds, if I do say so myself. We're going to move on now to the Krokhol Open, hosted at the #1 course in the world, the Krokhol Disc Golf Course near Oslo, Norway, which returned for a 2nd year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. In FPO, Holland Hanley outlasted the field in a 4-stroke victory over Caden Spurge, Ella Hansen, and Silva Sodernen, who all tied for 2nd. This is Holland's 4th win of the season, more than anybody else in the FPO division this year. Over in MPO, we had one of the best finishes of the season so far, with Ben Calloway, Jakub Semerad, and Mauri Villeman all tied at neg 22 and headed for a 3-way playoff, with Kyle Klein and Nicholas Antala missing out on the playoff by only a single stroke. Mauri would fall out of the playoff on hole 1, but Ben and Jakub traded birdies for 4 straight playoff holes, playing hole 18 on repeat, and just trading birdies, basically identical shots over and over again, until an unfortunate spit out for birdie from Jakub would hand the title to Ben for his first career Elite Series win. Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any thoughts you've got from the Krokhol Open.
So I would say the most notable thing at Krokhol, I mean, not the most notable thing, but a very much notable thing at Krokhol was Kristen. She's got the putting yips. We've seen this at some other events this year, but it was on full display at Krokhol. She only went 43% C1X. She had 16 circle 1 misses. So that means she averaged more than 5 circle 1 misses per round. She went neg 3.4 in shots gained putting, so she actually lost shots putting. She only had 12 C1X makes. It was some of the worst putting that she has had in the last 2 years. It's the first time that she's been under 65% C1X. It's the first time she's been within the bullseye for an average putt make at just under 11 feet. I'm not sure what's going on with her. Don't know. But it's not, you don't want to be cooling off right before major season with 2 majors back to back. We know that you have to assume that she's going to put it together for the majors, but right now, maybe a little bit worried about her performance over the next 2 big events, especially when Evelina Salonen took Krokhol off, didn't come out to play, and what she has shown is when she's coming back off a nice break, well rested, she is a threat. And she is coming for a couple extra majors to keep that amazing streak of hers going. And I'm kind of here for it. Let's go, Evelina.
Yeah, it is interesting times for the world number 1, Kristen Latz. That is for sure. You definitely can't count her out at majors. The more rounds there are, the more likely she is to be in it. But honestly, lately, you can say the exact same thing about Evelina because she has 3 of the last 6 FPO majors, I believe, or at least 3 in the last year and a half. So she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Of course, though, this next tournament is in Kristen's home turf in Estonia. After its debut on the Pro Tour last season, the European Disc Golf Festival is elevated to a major this year to replace the European Open, which is hosting the PDGA World Championships in only a few weeks' time. Hosted at the Rockstar course, which is located at the historic Tallinn Song Festival grounds in Estonia, this year's event promises to offer more thrilling action. Last year, Ricky Wysocki took it down by a single stroke over Paul McBeth in MPO, and in FPO, Missy Gannon won in a playoff over Evelina Salonen. Both defending champs are back in the field this year. Can they repeat, or will it be somebody new in 2025? Shawnee G, let's throw it over to you for any thoughts you've got on this event before we get into our picks.
I am looking forward to watching the footage of them launching bombs out of that stage. This is the event that has that the Song Festival grounds has got the big amphitheater where they build a stage. They've got the video boards, the smoke. It should be an amazing show like it was last year. And it's kicked off today as we're recording with Anthony Barella winning the I think they call it the Superstar Showcase or something like that, the long drive contest. 660, 680, something like that feet, which is, a decent throw for AB, but by no means his farthest. But man, what a throw and what an amazing first hole to kick off. Hopefully be a pretty cool event. The course last year was just way too easy for the pros. This year, I think like every hole within the complex has OB, and the spectators, of which there are supposed to be thousands, will be packed right up against the OB line. So that could be super fun and super interesting to watch. And it might be a good preview for, I think, was it Worlds next year that they're going to be hosting, or in a couple years, something like that?
2029.
Oh, that long. Okay. 2020,
yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah.
So anyway, it should be a super fun event. And I don't know. Who do you think is going to win? Let's go to you for the first pick.
All righty. We will do, we'll go, I'll take first in FPO. You can take first in MPO to kind of divvy it up here. And in FPO, let me sort by rating here. I am going to go with, she is on an absolute tear lately, and she's beaten Kristen at a lot of events lately. So it's hard to go against her. I'm going to go with Evelina Salonen.
You did it. Damn you. I wanted
She's
Sunshine
been so good lately.
All for myself.
Sunshine Salonen, I love that.
Yeah. That's the new nickname that the Upshot is trying to make happen for her.
They coined it, yeah.
I'm digging it. I like it. It works. It works. Up there with Chainsaw Cadence.
Yep.
Who, I mean,
she's been really
she's in
good
the conversation.
Yep.
She's got to be in the conversation.
100%.
This course is going to take precision, not necessarily distance. So who's going to be the tactician? Will Big Money Missy show up? She usually does.
Champion.
Yeah. I actually don't want Kristen for this. I think maybe there's some extra pressure being the hometown girl carrying disc golf on her shoulders. It's a lot of pressure, but she's usually good under pressure, except if apparently last week if she has to putt. So I don't know. Gabby, my wife said, "Is she pregnant? I wonder." We'll drop a new conspiracy
Is
there.
Gabby onto something?
Who knows? I don't know. I'll go Holland. I don't want her. I kind of don't want her to win. I want Evelina to win, but I'll take Holland.
Too bad I picked Evelina first.
Yeah. I was absolutely 100% taking her. So my turn for MPO?
Correct.
It's not Worlds, so I can't pick Isaac Robinson. Gannon is the obvious pick, but is he? Let's go for a Euro major winner with Niklas Antila. I'll move down the scoreboard a little bit. Let's give it to the Finnish cowboy doing it up in Estonia. What about you?
I love it. You left the player that I wanted open for me, which is great. And it's not actually Gannonberg. I'm going to go with the defending champion who has played well this year, but hasn't been able to lock up a win yet. And I think he gets it done and wins his first major since 2017, I believe, was the last time he won a major. That's the last time he won a Worlds, at least. And I'm going to go with Mr. Ricky Wysocki.
Would be a good time for him to get hot and take it down.
He usually does play well in Europe, and like I said, defending champion of this event. So I like that. All right, so Holland. Sean has a Holland and Nicholas Antila, and I've got Evelina Salonen and Ricky Wysocki.
And I think so. Galen has sent us his hot picks for the week, and let's see what we got here. He sent us in FPO Cynthia Klesberga, the pride of Riga, Latvia, coming in at amazing 896 rated. Solid pick there. So we'll see how that works for him. Sean Galbraith, Miss Mando correspondent. So Galen, his pick of the lowest rated player in the tournament seems to have been very prescient. After round one, she shot more than 120 points above her rating and is currently sitting in first place. Well done, Cynthia. Amazing. Let's see if she can hold it out for the next 3 rounds and take down this major for Galen. Solid unconventional pick. Who knew it? And then over in MPO, he's going Swedish from Slussfors, Sweden. It's Emil Carlson coming in at 984. Solid picks from Galen right there. I'm excited to see how he does with these.
Yeah, it's a very, very bold strategy, Cotton. We will see if it plays out for him.
Always bold picks from Galen, and we'd love to see it.
He's Mr. Bold. That's what we call him now here on Miss Mando. Mr. Bold Galen. Shawnee G, anything else that you've got before we wrap up the show here? Are we good to end her? We are good to ender, says Mr. Shawnee G. And all right, that's going to do it for this episode of Missed Mando. Good luck to all the players competing out this weekend, wherever you're competing. We've got tournaments at Albion, the Blueberry Brawl, that's where I'll be, the Eddyville Open, Great Escape at Ferguson Forest, and of course, all the juniors down at Junior Worlds or the Future Brews Little Heisers event at Forefathers. Busy weekend here in Ontario and for disc golf everywhere. But that's going to do it for us here on Missed Mando. For Sean Galbraith, I'm Robbie Holden, and we'll see you on the course.